Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, and today I'm delighted to welcome Damien Talks Money, YouTuber and entrepreneur, and I'm really excited to dive into what's going to be a part 4 series. Damien, thank you so much for joining me here in central London. Very exciting, and hopefully there's going to be huge amounts of value. Well, I know there's going to be huge amounts of value. So part 1 is about 0 to 40k subscribers on YouTube. So many people that I know personally are just starting on YouTube. I'm new myself. But how do we do it? Where do we actually start? And the question is, how can we grow as quickly as possible on YouTube starting from day one?
Yeah, I think there's that, for every overnight success, there's years of work. So I spent 2 or 3 years obsessing about making a YouTube channel, and I'd pretty much hammered down exactly what I wanted to do going into it straight away. The key thing for me is, within the niche that you, first of all, pick a niche. Secondly, has that niche got traffic? Are there people within that niche who are successful? If there's not, it's pointless. And then thirdly, for me, just if there is traffic within a niche, just do it differently to everyone else. Because if you do it differently, you will get an audience. And I think that's kind of what I've done in the UK. I've just come into it and done it differently to everyone else. So there's going to be a certain proportion of the UK finance sector that are going to be like, I like his version of different.
Yeah. Yours is very, what I like about your channel, I've watched a lot of your videos, is it's very, it's engaging, like it's quite interactive in the sense that you hold the attention of the audience. So for someone starting out, and you know, it's always hindsight, oh, I wish I'd have known this, wish I'd have known that. What's kind of, as an overview of YouTube, you know, from like, what would you say about, if you're going to start, use this, or have a good backdrop, be different, what would kind of your top tips be to someone starting out to get engagement?
So from a perspective of gear, I don't think that matters. I think my second ever video is my most popular, 200,000 views. It's shot on an iPhone with a like a £2 lavalier mic. And now I wouldn't make that video, I wouldn't post it. If I made that right now, it would be deleted.
Yeah.
And it shows I know nothing about quality of content and what is good. I think from a perspective of, if you understand why people go to YouTube, they like the fact that it's relatable. So if you go too high value, like, you can alienate people. This is why big businesses struggle. If you look at like big businesses that try and go to YouTube, they get no traction really. People want relatable, people want to feel like they're talking to someone. So the more stripped back, the better, I would say, initially. And then in terms of being relatable and like how you described it, just don't shout at the camera. That's one thing that I learned. A lot of people, I think, when you put a camera on in front of them, tend to perform, and it comes across as really false. Just try and talk normally, you know, like a normal person. And
how did you? Because one thing I like about yours is where it does keep you engaged. You tend to chop from talking to interactive images.
Yeah, B-roll.
I really like that, but how important is that? Because I suppose this is my own question really, is how do you find that balance of, you get videos where people will just talk, perhaps they're not that great at editing, so just talking and actually going through the motion of the content, between obviously like yours where it is really engaging. Is one preferred? Do you find?
I think there's a million different ways to make a YouTube channel, and someone like Emma Chamberlain just sits there in a bed with a camera like that and holds millions of people. I think for me, you know, behind the scenes, the B-roll is a function of hiding me not being able to talk to a camera for 10 minutes straight and it be coherent. So I use the B-roll so that I can effectively read off a script at points. So it's more for that. You'll see other big creators, they'll change angle within a set. So they'll have like 3 sets. All they're really doing there is, because they can't just sit, look at the camera and read, you know, or they'll have an auto cue like Meet Kevin. If the information is good, it will hold people's attention. I think from a retention perspective, I get about 60% plus on a 10-minute, 15-minute video, which is high. I'd say anything above 50% is high. I do think that the use of the B-roll for me helps. The main thing is like the humour as well. It's almost like a palate cleanser. It's like it just re-engages the brain. I think that's what's important there. So if I was just doing a straight talking piece, especially if it was heavy information, I would be asking myself, are people going to switch off watching this? You know, editing is like, it's like that sorbet for the brain almost.
I think what's good and what I like about yours, and for anyone watching, is yours is informative but interactive as well. So it chops it up and it keeps you engaged. And actually for me, I'm trying to do more of that. to keep that retention of it. So how has that played in regards to, because we were talking off camera, you've grown your channel fairly quick, we can say. So, you know, there is that monetization stage between 0 to 12 months. We were talking about that. So someone who's perhaps thinking, right, I'm going to start my YouTube, I'm going in with a business view to make this work and monetize, what would be kind of your top tips from where you've gone from 0 to 40k and now obviously monetized?
Yeah, you got to set a realistic expectation. From a YouTube perspective, I think if it's 4,000 hours, I think that's 166 days straight within a 12-month period. So you're talking almost half the year where your content's got to be on 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So that's like a massive mountain to climb. I think, you know, the editing aside and the engaging, and people point to that, the reason my channel was so successful was because I explained a complicated concept simply, and people were just like, oh, I get it now. Investing, so many people are they just think it's Wolf of Wall Street or trading, like binary options and things, when in reality, set it and forget it, index investing is what 90% of people can do, and it's as easy as, you know, finding a date on Tinder. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, if you can download
it's
an
simple.
app, but like, you know, the finance world is set up in a way to maybe make it look slightly more complicated. So I just came in and said, and related it to stupid things like food and things that people could get, and I think that was what landed me the traction.
Yeah, I really agree with what you've just said. It was the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
I think especially investing is such a hot topic, and everyone wants to be involved in investing, but the complication of the old school way of thinking, like, you know, the London Stock Exchange and all these big words, it puts people off. And I think what you've just said, where you explain it very simple, where someone will go, oh right, I didn't realise I could do that. I'm now going to go do it, and I'll watch your other videos.
Exactly.
So awesome point. The potential of YouTube's earnings. So obviously you're monetized now. This always motivates and inspires people, including myself, and I try to ask other YouTubers the same question, is, you know, what are the potential earning opportunities? What can this look like as a career and a financial future for you?
I mean, it's massive, it's scalability, isn't it? So if you can offer value to a lot of people, you'll make a lot of money. I think that's kind of the problem with cleaners. They can only clean one room at a time, they can't clean 1 million. Whereas sat there on YouTube, I could potentially reach 1 million people. I mean, to put it into perspective, in January, my niche is seasonal, so through January through March will be the hot point because everyone's looking, you know, new year, new me, I'll sign up to apps. I only had 8,000 subscribers and I earned about £20,000 in January from the channel. Now it's a bit quieter, but ad revenue alone, I mean, my top video, the Investing for Beginners video, will earn me £10 every single day. It took me, you know, 8 hours to make it. And it revenues me what a terrace house in Manchester would from a cash flow perspective, you know, like, and it's just there. I think there's the widest. I don't do any sponsors, but for my channel size right now, I could charge £5,000 to £10,000 for a sponsor on a video. I personally haven't done any because I haven't encountered any brands that are right. But when people are looking at the sponsor thing and they're wondering, for a finance channel, it's a lot of money. 1 million subscribers, it's insane. You're talking hundreds of thousands.
That's insane, because I know so many people that would jump at just taking the first sponsor, and I think what you've just said is really sort of key in the fact that I take it you're going to wait until the right time. You believe in a product. And I don't think a lot of people would turn around and say that.
No, I think I'm not going to tap out for 10 grand. I've got my eyes on a bigger goal, and I think I value my audience. And I know everyone says that, but I honestly mean it. I'm not just going to sit there and be like, look at this, you know, this is great because they're giving me 5 grand. I think you only get so many rolls of the dice with your audience in terms of sponsorship before they start to think this guy's just shilling anything, and it dents credibility. I also think from a perspective of a sponsor as well, if I can walk into a room with them and go, I turn down sponsors, you know, get your checkbook out basically. You're going to have, if you want that, I've saved up this credibility essentially with my audience so that when I sit there and go, I like this product, they know that I mean it. So that's going to cost you more essentially. I would also want them to do a giveaway involved in it as well. So. And also, you're not if the brand were to go downhill, you haven't attached your name to that as well. Exactly.
Which dents your credibility, like you said.
Unfortunately, within the finance space, there's more scam it seems to me that there are legitimate companies.
Yeah.
So the majority of sponsors, and I'm talking 10 offers a day, like within my Instagram, I get like 10 companies every day. Most of them are cryptocurrency, FX trading, and like some of the money on offer is ridiculous, like £1,000 for every person that signs up. To me, that's like, the only way that you can pay that is if you're rinsing that person that's signing up, because they must be giving that value back to you. So I'm not touching that, you know.
Yeah, that's insane, the offers that you'll get from that.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to the growth then of the YouTube, we were talking about the algorithm, and the algorithm, from what I know, is so much more complicated than things like Instagram, other social media platforms. It seems so much more intense.
Yeah.
How important is it from starting from the beginning that people take time to learn the algorithm from keywords, titling, thumbnails, and how it all ties in? Would you, if you could go back to the beginning, although you grew really quickly, if someone wants to try and grow as quick as they can, how much time should they be spending learning about the algorithm before they start?
The algorithm is complicated, I'm sure it is, but it looks to achieve a simple thing. It looks to put videos in front of people that they click and then they watch lots of those videos.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, you just need to make videos that people click on that then they watch a lot of. Now, I don't think there is one algorithm. I think there's probably a few going on. I think, like, for example, I can have a video that performs really well in YouTube search. So it shows up, gets loads of views, but is never suggested, because the homepage, for example, is a particular kind of video.
Yeah.
So I was on the trending page because I was creator on the rise, but the trending page is full of like, you know, I just blew £1 million, I jumped out of a plane into a shark's mouth kind of content. So like finance content on the trending page doesn't do all that well.
Yeah.
But you know, put finance content in YouTube search where people are like, how to invest, it will. So I honestly think that there's multiple algorithms.
You're never going to get it right then, essentially.
No, and they constantly shift and move. I think if you go into it trying to game the algorithm, you're doing the wrong thing. Try and make content that people really want to watch, and the algorithm will look after you. You know, YouTube looks after me from an algorithm perspective because I have a track record of delivering content that keeps people on the platform.
Yeah. Is there, so I've heard, I don't know how true this is, and I know it's a question that is, people do wonder, and hopefully this answers this question, is when you monetize, naturally, obviously, YouTube have, you know, obviously they're going to monetize as well from ads and stuff like that. Is the growth that much quicker when you hit the 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers? Did you find that? Yeah, so I do think there is an uptick. There is a YouTube term now that means they can advertise on any content. So they can advertise on a channel that isn't monetized if they want. They amended that. It's stupid to say that YouTube isn't incentivized to push content that they make money on. They're a business. So I do, even though they say they don't, I think, you know, I think a finance channel is going to get pushed if it can, because they earn a lot more off that than they would, say, a gaming channel. Yeah. You know, I did see an uptick, but at the same time, this was January, February, GameStop. Like, it's so hard to ever say. It's not like, oh, there it goes. It's so hard to say, was that a culmination of factors, or was it the YouTube algorithm pushing me or not? Yeah. So you can't define it really. No, I think people like push for that goal of 1,000 and 4,000 hours and think, once I get there, I'll be fine. Once you get there, you just realise there's another mountain. Like, do you know what I mean? You get to the summit and you're like, holy crap, there's another one. Yeah. Now, like, you know, I'm sat here now getting 1,000 hours watch time a day, and you know, to me that seems like nothing. Like, it's not enough. It's just more. Keep striving for more. The scalability of it. Yeah. That's awesome. You know, when you look at YouTubers that started 2 years ago, some of them. Nate O'Brien, who's a finance YouTuber in America, has only been doing it for 4 years. So I'm 18 months in, and I think by that time he had pushing like 500,000 subscribers. So comparison is the thief of joy and all of that. But from that perspective, I am failing, you know, if I compare myself to those guys. But I suppose that's one of the points actually maybe everyone should take away, is you've really got to focus on yourself, not start comparing, because obviously you're always going to be chasing. I imagine that's probably the feeling. You can get caught up with blade and things like this are poisonous. Get rid. There's just no point. Yeah. You know, there's always someone doing it bigger. And the problem with YouTube is we get a minute by minute breakdown of our performance. Imagine working in a job and your boss was on your shoulder going,
like that's bad, that's good, that's bad. Like,
this is where it happened.
Yeah. You know, they didn't like this bit of your work, or when you
really self-critical. Isn't
you
it?
release a video and YouTube's like, people don't like this video. It literally says that. It's like, no one's clicking this video, mate. You just slaved on it for a week, but it's rubbish.
Demoralising.
Like,
and it is demoralising.
Yeah.
But that's why I think you need to go in with the business mindset. I think you really need to stay focused. But
you need thick skin.
That was amazing value. Like, I learned so much, and I hope you did. And that was part one. Do stick around for part two, where we're going to be talking, do this before you start a YouTube channel.